Hi, everybody. It's Kevin, and welcome back to another episode of Positivity and Comics, where we're going to talk about the positive comics out in the stores and highlight all the good things out there and dwell less on the negative. So this Batman Last Night on Earth, it was a three-part series by Scott Snyder and Greg Capullo. The first one came out in, I believe, July. The second one came out in October, and the third one came out in December. And I read the third one in December and then sat back and read all three at once. And this is from the DC Black Label, and these are high-quality books. As you can see, they're square bound. You got the name on the square. More thick than a normal book. No ads. Great work. They're a little more expensive. These are $5.99. But it's worth the read. It's a great little Elseworld story of Gotham in turmoil, and Batman's lost his way and that sort of thing. Kind of reminds me of Old Man Logan. So I'd suggest picking up the trade on this when it comes out. And over the past, I think, was it January 1st was the first new comic book day. We had Thor #1 and Star Wars #1. This one by Donny Cates and Nick Klein, and this one by Charles Soule and Jesus Saiz, I believe his name is. Saiz, S-A-I-Z. These came out a couple weeks ago, and then last week we got Batman number 86 by James Tynion IV and Tony Daniel. All three great books. I want to start with Thor #1 first. This is taking place after the event War of the Realms, which I didn't read. I haven't bought single-issue comic books in a very long time. I've just been reading old trades or getting the DC Black Label books because they're more worth my while. Marvel books, for whatever reason, are more expensive than DC books. Both Thor and Star Wars are $4.99 and Batman is $3.99. $3.99 is a fair price. I would say, for what it is, $4.99 is, it is what it is. It's just the way the times are. So this takes place after War of the Realms, and Thor is essentially back on Asgard. Art's very colorful. You get a little cameo of Iron Man and Captain America. And Thor, I guess Odin must have died in War of the Realms. I'm not really sure. But Thor has become the king of Asgard. And, he's just getting there. And they show little things. The art's really good. They show little signs of Thor being kind of weak, like he's struggling to hold the hammer here. And I don't know what happened, but one of his arms, you can see he's got, his arm is uncovered, and then that arm looks like it's covered in metal or whatever. So I don't know what happened. Something must have happened in War of the Realms. I'm not exactly sure. And you can see here he's missing the eye, kind of like how he is in, the last two Avengers movies. So then Loki's kind of taunting him, saying, "You look weak," and he's throwing the hammer Mjolnir to prove that he's still as powerful as ever. And then Galactus comes in, which really caught me by surprise. And he comes in here, nice double-page spread, it looks really good. So you got that. And in the middle here, I just wanted to show, they have, these other books that are coming out. Falcon and the Winter Soldier, which is coming out in February. I think that's kind of to hype up for the Disney show with Falcon and the Winter Soldier. You have Iron Man 2020 by Dan Slott. No, thank you. Machine Man and Force Works coming out. All these are coming out in February. You have Wolverine #1 by Benjamin Percy and Adam Kubert. And then you have Giant Size Jean Grey and Emma Frost by Jonathan Hickman. And X-Men plus Fantastic Four by Chip Zdarsky. I might want to check out that one and this one, as a matter of fact. Hickman's been pretty good. I own some of his trades. And Chip Zdarsky has been very good with the Daredevil run, from what I've heard. So then you also have a little ad for Ant-Man coming out in February. And who's that? By Zeb Wells and Dylan Burnett. So Thor's here. Galactus, obviously a villain, trying to figure out what's he doing on Asgard. And he says that, he's coming for help. And you can kind of see Galactus is missing an arm. So what could have defeated Galactus like that? So Then all these characters come in. The Heralds of Galactus and Silver Surfer and whatnot. And they're saying that, they need Thor's help. So, of course, he's going to do what he needs to do. And he's sort of sitting here and he's getting these visions from what was said earlier in the book from one of the Valkyrie. I'm afraid your smiting days are over. And Loki saying, is it getting heavier then? And, Tony Stark from earlier said, enjoy your retirement. So it's clear that Thor is getting weaker. His powers are waning for whatever reason. Could that have been from War of the Realms? I'm not sure. So there he is with all the Heralds of Galactus and Loki and whatnot. And, he's going to Galactus to see what's going on. Silver Surfer's there. And he unleashes this power and onto Thor. And you see at the end there, he's become the Herald of Thunder. So we'll see where that goes. I enjoyed it. We'll see where it goes. Next issue is coming out on the 29th, so in a couple weeks there. Very good. I thought it was good. From a lot of the outrage channels, they act like Donny Cates is this great villain, which, I don't really think so. I think he did a good job with that issue. So then you have Star Wars #1 here. Now, I have the trade paperbacks of the Darth Vader run in between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back, and the Darth Vader run between, Revenge of the Sith and A New Hope. And there's also a Star Wars run that's, I think, like 12 trades. I got to go back and check that out. Between A New Hope and Empire Strikes Back. And now this one is taking place between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. And I really enjoyed this one. So it starts at Star Wars, and it gives you the little recap right here. The recap is basically right after Luke got attacked by Darth Vader's hand chopped off in Cloud City. And right there, you see it. And it's got this great little thing of the lightsaber falling, and he just keeps repeating, I am your father, join me. And we see him, because as you remember from Empire Strikes Back, they kind of take him in the Falcon, and then immediately he's in the frigate, and they're working on his metal hand, and everything's well and good. So this is the bridging the gap between, Cloud City from them cutting to the frigate. So he's there. Chewbacca's pissed at Lando. This is a funny scene where, they kind of are looking at C-3PO, and he says something stupid, and they're still giving him the death stare, like, all right, C-3PO, be quiet over there. So they're talking about how we're going to get Han. Lando Calrissian knows that he's going to Jabba the Hutt, because where else would he go? He's been wanted for a bounty. And then you get this epic space battle with all sorts of, you got the ships that look like the Tantive 4, the frigates, X-Wings, there's Y-Wings, and there's like 4 or 5 Star Destroyers and all those TIE fighters. And you can see there are frigates getting blown up, so they're getting overwhelmed by the Empire. And this is basically them, the forces of the Empire plotting and destroying. You got here, there's a little thing where they're talking about Dameron, and it turns out that this woman here, her name is Dameron, flying an A-Wing fighter, and it's presumed, to be Poe Dameron's mother. That's what I got out of it. So that's kind of interesting how they bridge that together. And then all of a sudden the Millennium Falcon comes in to save the day, and Chewie's a little hesitant about having Lando help them because of, what he just saw with Han. And they're talking about they need to go in and fight. And Luke with one arm is like, I'll go down there. I gotta man one of the guns and do the best I can. So they're down there. They're getting shot at. Everyone's like got their hands up, screaming. C-3PO is like, my goodness, R2-D2's beeping away. Reminds me of good old Star Wars. So they're struggling down here. Luke continues to think about him getting his hand chopped off and how Darth Vader's his father. He's asking old Ben for help. That sort of thing. And Leia needs help. She's shooting. She can't do it. Luke can't do it because he's got one hand and can't get a grip of the shooting. And then here, he uses the Force, essentially, to cause the TIE fighters to lose control, and they're crashing into each other. Princess Leia gets a clear shot, shoots him. Just shows you how powerful Luke is with the Force right there. So, then they're able to make their run on the Star Destroyer, take out the turrets so they can't be shot at. And, you know, there's the Empire right there. And then the general in charge of that Star Destroyer is telling Darth Vader, you know, they failed. We were able to take out this, but we weren't able to take the Millennium Falcon. And Darth Vader says, no, leave the Falcon for me. There's a person on there I need to speak with and confront in person. So they are here. They're still hesitant about Lando helping the rebellion. So you got that little strife. Turns out, you know, they have to accept him for what he is. Then you have this coming out. This is going to come alongside this story. And this is going to be Darth Vader's point of view, taking place in the same sort of events, by Greg Pak and Raphael Ionico. Now, Greg Pak did World War Hulk and Planet Hulk. Great stories there. So I'm looking forward to reading this one as well. That's coming out in February. So Luke's furious here because no one's going to talk to him. He's calling out for Yoda and for Obi-Wan, and no one's answering him. So he's just furious. And he doesn't know what he's supposed to do. Or what he's supposed to be, rather, because he's in here he's talking about, am I a Jedi? You know, what am I supposed to be if Darth Vader's my father? So overall, I thought it was really good. And issue 2 is coming out the 29th as well as Thor, so I'll pick them up at the same time. And they're going to return to Tatooine. So Charles Soule, great start there. You got a bunch of good Star Wars books coming out here. The Darth Vader #1 in February. Star Wars #3 coming out in February as well. So you're going to get this like every other week, like 2 a month or so. So looking forward to that as well. All right, so now we're going to talk about Batman. Batman 86, James Tynion and Tony Daniel. Now, Tom King totally emasculated Batman. And is there really coming back from it? I don't know. We'll check it out. I read this. And I thought it was pretty good. The art was great. So this is the end. You got a nice double-page spread here. Rebuilding Gotham for Everyone. Their Dark Designs, Part 1. So you got here all these villains, you know, getting recruited. You got a nice little shot of Catwoman there, looking fine as always. And, you know, as you know from the Tom King story, Alfred's dead, so Lucius Fox is essentially the Alfred now. Can't believe they did that, but, you know, that's what happened. So, Batman is, you know, still trying to make what happened. Trying to figure out what's going on. And then you got Deathstroke, which I love Deathstroke. Great villain. And he's the one who got all those mercenaries to join him. And there's a big clash with Batman, in which, you know, Batman easily takes them all down, has this nice fight with Deathstroke, and gets all bloody, and has this line where, you know, shut the fuck up and fight me. So, I thought that was kind of funny. Then you have a little sizer of Catwoman, just doing basic Gotham stuff. And, you know, Batman defeats Deathstroke just like that. A little kind of anticlimactic, if you ask me. But, talking to Lucius Fox some more. The only problem I have with this is there's way too many ads. It's really crazy. You saw the Marvel books, they had the ads, but it wasn't as, you know, as many as this. Kind of takes out of it. So he kind of had Lucius Fox construct this thing that could fly for him. So he's got that going. And he just flies off into the sunset. So, I mean, it was better than Tom King. I'm going to stick with it, see how it goes. But really, nothing that special in my opinion. And then you have this little epilogue with masked clown creatures. So obviously the Joker's going to be brought back into it. And we're going to have to check it out. So I will stay with it. And the next one, when is it coming out? Doesn't say. I think it's coming out next week, so we'll have to check it out next week. So overall, I am more of a DC guy over Marvel, but I have to say, I enjoyed both Thor and Star Wars #1 a lot more than Batman 86. I'm going to keep going with it. James Tinian's done other Batman books, so I want to continue to go with it. And, what did you think? Let me know in the comments down below. And we'll talk to you again soon. So thanks for watching. Have a good one. And I'll have another positivity and comic video coming out, I guess next week. Next week I'm getting Batman 87 and Detective Comics 1019, I believe, by Pete Tomasi. So, see what that's going like. Haven't been in Detective Comics in a long time either. The last one I read was Detective Comics 1000. So I'm curious to see what I'm going to be jumping into. But Tomasi's on it. We'll have to check it out. And I also ordered a trade paperback of a Star Wars Legends book. So check them out. And I'll talk to you again real soon. All right, bye.